These kits are the rage, and I have to tell you, once I started playing with one, I became addicted to them myself. I'm talking about the Diamond Art kits from Leisure Arts. These are incredibly cool. You basically start with a pre-printed canvas with a design and then an adhesive on top. You apply these little diamond gems, and when you're done, you end up with something like this. So I decided to show you exactly what's in the box and how easy this is to do. So the kits come just like this. They're labeled up at the top, say beginner, intermediate. Really, I think that's how many colors are involved, how many gems you have to place. So start with the beginner one, but I think you could jump right to any of the other ones, no worries. What comes in the box? Well, the first thing you have is the printed canvas. And it's pretty tightly rolled up, and it's got like a cellophane on top to protect that adhesive. So, and the instructions are curled up in there as well too. You could leave this overnight with a book on it or something to flatten it. Since I'm in a bit of a rush, I'm gonna roll it backwards onto itself, but I still have that clear sheet on top. I don't want my fingers touching any of that adhesive. It'll just take some of the stickiness off. So we're gonna roll that up the opposite way, give it a few squeezes, convince it that it wants to be kind of flat. So there you have it, that's good enough for me. So we have a pre-printed fabric, cellophane on top, and it's only sticking where the design is. In this case, the bee is isolated, so the honeycomb doesn't get any of the diamond gems. But other kits actually have the gems edge to edge. I'm working on one now that is a dragon eye. There's about 9 gems per inch, so that's 81 per square inches. That dragon is 8 by 8. That's almost 5,200 gems if I did the math right. So that takes a little bit of time to place them all. So I'm going to put that aside. I like working on a piece of white paper compared to this dark table, so I can see these little tiny gems if any get out of place. And what else do we have? Some little plastic bags. You're going to want to save those. A little tray, and this is magic. There's magic in this tray. Let me show you why. This little squishy thing, which goes over the stylus just to give your thumbs sort of a nice place, a comfortable place, because remember that dragon eye is about 5,200 gems. And then a piece of red wax. And on either side of this, there is also a thin protective cellophane sheet, right? So we've got this, the stylus, the wax, the little tray, and then your bag of gems. So let's see if I can get in this bag of gems. This one's pretty tightly sealed. The bee uses 3 colors: black, yellow, and white. And you'll notice each packet is labeled. A01 is black in this case, 02 is yellow, 03 is the white. You'll see on each one of your printed designs, there's a little tiny legend. And the legend has the number, like A01, then you see it is black. And in this case, black is a black circle, yellow has a dashed line in it, and white just has a dot in the center. So that's the key. That's telling you which colors go on which squares of this pre-printed design. I'm going to start with the wing. And this is one of the first things I stumbled with, right? I thought, oh my gosh, it always has to be facing just right. No, what was I thinking, right? Rotate it so it's convenient for you. So I'm going to put the wing close to me. I like working from the outside in, because this way I'm not reaching over any of the sticky material, and then my hand or wrist lays on it and it takes some of the stickiness off. And I'm only going to peel off as much adhesive or as much of this clear protective layer as necessary to get to where I want to work. So since I'm going to start with the wing, I'm going to need the black first. It's perforated down the center, but I like to cut it out. Now, I made a mistake the first time I did this, and I dumped the whole bag into this magical tray. Don't do that. I would say you only need, I don't know, 1/3, 1/2, maybe 2/3 at the most coverage in the tray, and here's why. So I'm going to sprinkle some of the gems in there, not many, and then I like to fold this over and use a paper clip to hold it closed. just because at my house you never know when the cat's going to come running across the table. So this keeps this safe. Now, what makes this tray magical? If you give it a little shake or a little shimmy, and I think it helps if you do it with your whole body. You got to shake, shimmy, shake, shimmy. Somehow, because of magic, voodoo, I don't know how this works, most of the gems face with the faceted side up. It's mystical. So you don't have to be trying to flip these over to get to the faceted side. Just give the tray a little shimmy, a little shake, and boom, they're all facing the right way. This stylus, the end of it has a concave opening, sort of like a cereal bowl, facing just like this. And the goal is to get a little bit of this wax in that tip, because that wax is then going to stick to the gems. So the kit comes with this little block of wax, and I found you don't want to go straight down in. I found it's kind of easier to kind of go at an angle and scoop up some of the wax, maybe twist it a bit to get it in that tip. Now this takes a little bit of a feel, because if you put too much, you'll have a big glob on the end. I've got one there now that, you know, just gets in the way. So you'll find that with some practice, you'll have just the right amount. I like putting everything on this white piece of paper so that if any of the gems fall out, I can find them. And I'm going to put a little weight here just to hold that flat so you can see. Now, one of my other key learnings was I used to keep this, you know, like here, and I was constantly reaching this far to get the gem from the tray onto the bee. Well, after a while, I realized, okay, let's put this really close, and it minimizes some of those, you know, hand movements. So now I've peeled back this protective cover. I'm going to avoid putting my whole hand and wrist on any of this sticky part. And you just go into the tray, and you can see the gem just sticks to the end where the wax is, and you're going to place it on one of the spots and lift. That's it. And you can actually go pretty fast. And I find it almost meditative. Now, even this, after a while, gets to be a big distance. So once I'm really kind of in the groove, I move it very close. Now, I'm a craft hoarder, so I have done several of these kits, and I have to admit, I have saved the little tray, the stylus, and the extra gems from each one of those kits. Because, number one, I'm sure I can use these gems on another project. I was even wondering if I put my own double-sided adhesive paper down, if I could then kind of do my own freestyle design. Now, sometimes you'll get a gem, you know, stuck on the side. Sometimes I pick up more than one. It's another reason why you want to keep this fairly sparse, because then, you know, they're not all sticking to one another. So that's it. This is how this process goes. Now, like I said, I save these trays from multiple kits, because in this case, I'd probably have 3 trays going, or at least 2, the black and the white, so that I can go into the white, go into the black, keep right on going, and fill this wing all the way towards the center. And then I'd rotate it and come in from the other wing, then maybe rotate it and go up from the bottom. And here we can see the antenna. That's kind of exposed, and it's possible that I would stick my hand in there reaching over to get something. So I might just fill that in as I go. There's really no right or wrong here. And it's sort of like when I make a to-do list. If I have to do laundry, I don't make a to-do list that says do laundry, because then I don't have anything to check off. So I have to make a list that says do laundry, carry over the whites, carry over the colors, carry over the sheets, start the whites, start the sheets, you know, dry the whites, dry the sheets, because then I can check off lots of things. I like having lots of check off points. So I like doing whole little sections in multiple colors just so I can see it all fill in. So you can kind of get an idea. I mean, I did, maybe 3/4 of an inch, square inch in that amount of time. And you just keep going and going. The one I'm working on at home right now is the Dragon Eye, which is 8x8 solid gems. And I can't wait to use that in a project. When you're not working on it, keep that plastic over it so that you protect all that adhesive from dust, or in our case, the cat. And I keep it laid flat. Once I start it, I tend not to roll it up. When you're done, you will have a finished bee. And just because this bee is printed on this entire sheet of fabric doesn't mean you have to use it as is. Look at the dahlia, which I cut out. And you can see that sparkle. Hopefully the lights pick up some of that sparkle. It's amazing. And I've got a project in mind for this. That'll be a separate video. So when I'm done, as I showed, I paper clip the bag, keep it sealed, and then I tend to put all the bags back in here. When you're done with the stylus, say this is all I want to do today, I want to pick up tomorrow, the only other thing you need is some clear wrap from your pantry. To prevent the wax on the end from drying out, just stick some clear wrap over the end and, wrap the whole thing up. And you can see this is a stylus I have from another kit. I've done several of these kits, so I have lots of styluses. I don't know why I'm saving those, but I'm definitely saving the diamond gems and all the little trays, because I'm thinking after I do enough of these, I'll have quite a few gems left over. My experience has been there's plenty of gems. Very rarely are any misshapen. I think the last time I did a bee, when I went to do the next bee, I had enough black, white, and yellow that I got it half done without even opening what was in the new kit. So I'm a craft hoarder. I'm saving those. That is Diamond Art by Leisure Art. And if you're like me, you're going to find it addictive. The bee was great. The dahlia, I just think all that monochromatic, the blues are spectacular. And I can't wait to finish the Dragon Eye. I hope you'll give these kits a shot. They're great fun. New designs keep coming out all the time. And I'm curious what you do when you're done. Do you just frame it? Or do you put it on a piece of clothing, put it on a pillow, put it on a tote bag, make a home decor project? I've got projects in the works, so check out my YouTube channel, CreateNCraft, my website as well. I'm Joe Rotella, and happy crafting!